TikTok, it's time to rock. Welcome to the channel, folks. Welcome to the Ranking of the Tracks show here on the channel. It's my pleasure as ever to be here with the Rock Professor and Brad. And we want to do, before we do the official shout outs, a shout out to our dear brother Hugh, who couldn't be here with us for this show because, as ever, if it's not family, it's work, because they always have to take precedent over anything that happens here, eh, Brad?
Oh, 100%.
Sadly.
You need to pay the bills and you need to look after family. So those two things come first.
And Hugh needs to get out of work and support me in my pension hood. That's what he's doing.
So we want to dedicate the show to Hugh because we know this album that we're going to talk about is in Hugh's top 10. So Hugh, we dedicate the show to you, bro, and work hard earning the money for the Rock Professor's pension, brother. Top marks. Well done.
Shouldn't be allowed out, should I? Honestly. And yes, I've just decided I could have called myself Call Centre Kev. my new call centre headset.
1-800 Rock Professor.
Rock. Dial 1-800 Rock Prof for the answers to all your questions.
So we were just having a bit of a laugh, folks, behind the scenes. You know, Brad and the Rock Professor. Testing 1 2 3, making sure that sound and everything is all working and it's all good. And we've had no problems with Brad's sound for a long time. As you know, the Rock Professor was always a bit clicky for a little while there. He was a bit clicky, because what the Rock Professor's like that, Brad. He's always clicky, he's always clicky. But with that new sound system you got, Rock Professor sounds like $1 million.
See, yeah, with my new call center headset.
Can't beat it.
It's working beautifully. Nothing like analog, is there? Nothing like a good wire to keep me connected.
Guys, dear. As ever, it's really important that we do a shout out to the co-hosts here that are presenting the show for people to have a little bit of fun with and sit back and enjoy on this part of the YouTube universe. So thank you, Simon, for joining us early in the morning where you are. And Brad, it's been my pleasure to hang out with you for the second time today, bro. So thank you for jumping on.
No problem at all. Been a pleasure.
Practically married.
And while we're on that one, we should big shout out to our brother John Conklin for joining us. Conks.
Yes, thank you, John.
Outstanding job earlier today, our time, a couple of hours ago it was. And it was a pleasure to share the StreamYard with you once again. And he's always a fun guy to share on these shows, Andrew. And look forward to doing some more shows with you in the future, hopefully soon. So hopefully with if there's a little bit more Van Halen noise, we might be able to do a show or two, or Police or something. We'll see.
Is that one of their albums, Van Halen Noise?
Well, it could be. Could be one of the fans.
We've got Balance, and you've just done Balance. The one after that is going to be Noise, isn't it?
Well, the noise can be about all the complaining fans they have. Simon.
Well, yes, that's true. Yes.
Hey, Johnny.
You think of it more of a newsletter, Van Halen Noise,
that's right.
to cater for all the complaining fans.
Yeah.
No. So it was a great show, Simon. So thank you, Brad, for doing a shout out to Johnny there. And Brad, you've got another shout out, and I want to do a shout out after you've done a shout out, if that's okay. One that's just come to my mind because I'm old.
We all are getting there a little bit, Andrew. But shouts out also to my father, Ken Cook, who's still in hospital at the moment. Obviously, we all thoughts and prayers with you at the moment for a speedy recovery.
Hope
Well
he's on
done.
the up. Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to do a special shout out to Brad's partner Jackie for her birthday a couple of days ago. Well done, and all the best. And if you're lucky enough to follow her on social media and Brad on Instagram, there was some great pics, and I tell you what, there's nothing like looking at pics when people are together and having big smiles, Simon. It's just, isn't it great? Fantastic to see.
Yeah, lovely. Well, happy birthday, Jack. I typically missed it all completely. so happy birthday. I hope you had a lovely birthday.
No, we had fun. We had fun, despite the fact that the poor girl was a bit sick, a bit under the weather. Dragged her out, had a good time, had a good feed, and it was nice little get together. But
good. You always feel better after a trip out to get some tucker cooked by somebody else, don't you?
Oh, look, everyone that was asking me all around me, friends at work and things like that, saying, "Are you going to cook a dinner tonight?" I said, "Yeah, that's how I cook. That's how I cook dinner. I pay for it."
I go out to a restaurant. Hey. Yes, well done.
That's how I cook dinner.
with the millions that you make off your band. Clearly, we've seen the the arenas in which you're playing, Brad. You must be absolutely, in your private jet, absolutely coining it.
It's spilling out of my pockets. Yeah.
Well done.
I go down the street, throwing it up in the air. Yeah, it's like confetti.
Yeah, well done. Well, so on behalf of the channel, Jackie, thank you very much because she's been supporting us, obviously, in one way or another, and obviously, that's always a good thing to shout out to people close to what we do here. Guys, I want to do a shout out also to a show that you and I and Brad we did. I had a friend of mine watch our All Things Must Pass shows last week.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes, a very good friend of mine from through business. I know him through work, and he had no idea. He had absolutely no idea that the backing band of George's was Eric Clapton, Bobby, and basically the Dominoes. He had no idea.
Carl Reynolds.
Yeah, he had no idea. And when he listened to that album on Wednesday and Thursday night, and I caught up with him again on Friday, he said it was like listening to that album, Brad and Simon, completely. It was a completely different experience.
Well, that's great.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
that's
brilliant.
all we can ask for, guys, isn't it?
Well, that's our lofty aim, isn't it? Our lofty aim is that somebody can go and maybe come across one of those shows and then go and listen to the album then with fresh ears, or if you come into it fresh, you've got an idea about what's going on. That's fantastic. So thanks for that, Andrew. That's brilliant.
Yeah, his name is Viv. So I'll do a shout out to Viv for that, and
that's really good.
And watched our shows too. Thought that the fact that we had some photos of some of the gear that we thought they were playing as well too, guys. And again, and I was kind of well, thanks, bro. That's really nice. He said,
it is,
Very special. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very special, because that's all we can ask for, is we do these shows for fun, spread the joy and the music that we all love, and share it all. And if someone gets something out of what we're talking about, especially if they go back and listen to it and reassess their album after they've been listening to it for however many years, that's all we can ask for. It's great.
Yeah. I gave him a bit of a kick up the arse, though. I said to him, "Don't you ever read your records? Don't you read?" He goes, "No, I just listen to the shit, bro." I said, That's half the problem, Viv.
That's why we
Well,
do these shows, Andrew, because
Yeah, 100%.
Spotify just doesn't allow you the fact to know who plays on what or anything. Like, the liner notes are missing. Everything's missing. The joy of reading the album cover is gone.
No, absolutely. That's fantastic. And as I say, if we do, if I have any aims for this show myself personally, but it is exactly that. People listen to one of our shows. Never mind us blathering on, but they then go away and listen to the album. If they've never heard it before, they've got back, or if they have heard it, they listen to it with fresh ears. And kind of different thing, and that's that's fantastic to hear that that's the case. Cheer me up for weeks.
Yeah. Oh, that's great news, Andrew. Thanks for that.
Yeah. No problem, guys. So I've just got some bad news that's been texted to me. Looks like our rugby team here, Waikato, have lost a rugby game. One of my friends is taking great delight in, passing that news on to me.
About it.
Simon, do you want to do a shout out and we'll kick the show off? What do you reckon?
Yeah. Let's see who's in the chat. So we've got Ellen, of course. Morning, Ellen. Hope you're well. We've got Jazz Thunder 50. Jim. Morning, Jim. Yeah, no Hugh today. He's had to go to work to support you and I in our pension hoods. And we've got Johnny Thunder's Heartbreakers. Well, Johnny Heartbreaker. Morning, Johnny. Hope you're well as well. Thanks for staying up and dropping in. Must be blooming late where you are. But, so that's everyone who's made comments. So thanks all for making comments. And anybody else watching, got 11 people watching, make a comment and we can say hi to you, which would be nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
Fantastic. All right, guys, so we're going to kick the show off. Normally what I like to do with my intros, I like to include you guys in a kind of a round table conversation on some of the intros that I do, and I'm going to include you on this one too, especially, guys. It's kind of a continuation of the sessions for Robert Johnson EP that we did a couple of years ago, Simon and Brad. Which is, in itself, a great recording, great package. And Brad and the Rock Professor and I were talking about that just before we went live, because with that package was included a DVD of them recording a lot of the songs that were on this album that we're talking about here. So we're going to mention that quite a little. Well, I certainly will during the course of the show, because I think it's a wonderful documentary of how tight this band was and what Eric Clapton was trying to achieve back in 2003, 2004, 2005, Simon. And we'll talk about that more. So I just got a quick note here. So it was released in March 2004. It was recorded at the Townhouse, which is according to Wikipedia, Simon, was a really, really important recording location for a lot of bands for a long time. It's a tragedy that I think it doesn't exist anymore, but it's a tragedy that some of these locations have been lost to the redevelopment or whatever. But one of the key things with that location, I understand, Brad, was the ability it had for the percussion, for the drums to be captured, and a lot of producers liked that and thought that was quite kind of good. And I think that's reflected on a lot of the recordings. I don't know if you guys have got an opinion on that. You got an opinion on that, Brad?
The whole recording is done live, so the room was really important, obviously, to capture a good drum sound, but also good all round acoustics. And I'm not talking about acoustic guitars; I'm talking about acoustically room wise. So capturing the bass, capturing the guitars, the drums, everything equally. Plus, you're also hearing Eric Clapton sing live. So
Yeah.
there was some separation there, but I'm sure there would have been a lot of bleed within the microphones. And if people don't understand what bleed is, it's what that it means is in the studio, there'll be like in a vocal microphone, for example, like the one that's over here behind me, behind here. So there'll be a vocal microphone, and the drum kit and the guitars and everything might be bleeding through that mic as well. So getting the separation, getting everything right is important in a live recording. It's extremely hard actually to pull that off, and they did it so well on this record. It's a remarkable album. Just listening to it again today, obviously just to finalize all my rankings and making sure, as I do, I listen to it one more time before the show. And Andrew, to back you up, the actual room itself, it was so important, and the sound quality of this record. I can feel the kick, I can feel the drum kit through the headphones. I can feel everything. It's got presence. It's not like a two-dimensional sound. It's very three-dimensional, and that's what makes the album so special for me. It's a live recording. So
and I think definitely that's definitely what I like about the album too, and that's going to be a key point, I think, Simon. Moving through when we talk about the songs, I'm sure. But one of the interesting things that we need to talk about too, obviously, is how well received the album was by blues fans. I have to be honest with you, because we like to talk about our experiences with these albums before we kick off the rankings. So I've got to admit to you guys that in 2004, I wasn't listening to this album when it came out in 2004. I discovered this album in 2010, guys. And I've made mention about this many times on the channel, when I rediscovered the blues. And I remember in 2010, Brad and Simon listening to this album, going, my gosh, I just couldn't believe that a guy of Eric Clapton's stature was still recording this stuff. But bear in mind, though, Simon and Brad, I was listening to, on constant rotation, I was listening to the Beano album, I was listening to From the Cradle, and then obviously this album at the same time. And when you think about these three albums, for discussion's sake, you can see that continuity is a theme that continually runs through Clapton's live recordings, Simon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I can tell you the townhouse closed in 2008. But yeah, I mean, everybody recorded there. Elton John, Queen, Bob Dylan, Phil Collins, Simple Minds, loads of people. So, and I think that the Studio 2 Stone Room was especially popular place to record drum sounds. So it's where In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins' drum sound was recorded. So, closing a couple of years after this was recorded. I think for me, one of the most important things about this record is that it's live, that it's a group of musicians, sat around in a studio playing together, kind of thing. And I think that it gives it a tremendous cohesion, and of sound, but also vision as well. And as we know, Robert Johnson always has been one of Clapton's touchstones, hasn't he, throughout his career? He returns to Robert Johnson. Crossroads has been, a song he's played through his entire career since Cream. We know that as he said himself, that he's been one of the touchstone artists that Clapton's had in his life and his career and stuff, and he keeps going back to it. Keeps revisiting it and stuff. And
the artists which inspired him, he took the 100%, Simon, the artists. And I think you know, from my perspective, being a Clapton fan, isn't it amazing to see that this guy in 2004 decided, Brad and Simon, that he was going to pay it back? You know, that's 20 years ago, 20 odd years. I just can't.
Yeah, I know.
21 years ago, you know, that he was paying, you know, Robert Johnson back by his interpretation of a lot of these songs. And boy, I'm glad that he did, because I think it's one of my favorite Eric Clapton albums. You know, certainly. Yeah, I put that up there with From the Cradle and the Beno album and Layla. If you've got those albums and 24 Nights, I have to add that, don't I?
Yeah, or Michael will get upset. Yeah, I agree. I think this is I mean, I think the backstory for this, Andrew, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, was he was meant to be recording an album of all original material, and I don't think they got it together in time, so they reused that time in the studio to do this. And I think it may have always been on the cards for Eric to do this, and he just shuffled things around maybe to do an album, basically, you know, paying his dues to Robert Johnson.
Well, it was sounding so good, and that's what he liked. It's a little bit like the Key to the Highway story, Simon, you know, where they're in the studio recording some songs, and it's like, ooh, shit, this sounds pretty good.
Well, yeah, by the musicians he's got, it should sound pretty good, shouldn't it?
Brad, you're right. So let's go out there and do an album.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why waste the studio time? And they threw it together in a couple of weeks, I believe. They got the songs together in 2 weeks or something, and just went live, which is that's a credit to any musician to pull that off. Just go in and record this sort of stuff live and make it sound as fresh and as vibrant as it is. John, make it sound as fresh and as vibrant as they managed to pull off on this record, guys.
Yeah, 100%. So, Brad, I'll kick off with you. So, I've basically said quickly, you know, I discovered the album in 2010. I don't remember at all anywhere in my mind hearing this album before then. So, Brad, when did you discover the album? And then, Rock Professor, I'd love you to give us your impressions.
I think for me, I was a little late to the party on this one as well, Andrew. I vaguely remember buying it after it had been a while out, maybe a year after it had been actually released. I mean, I was a Clapton nut, so I wanted to buy it. I just never rushed out to buy it because I thought, oh, here we go, Clapton playing, you know, Robert Johnson again. I'm thinking, how many times are you going to play Crossroads? And you know, I didn't want to rush out to buy it, and I didn't even look at track listings or anything like that. I thought it was all going to be, you know, 15 versions of Crossroads or something like that, and Key to the Highway, and that's what I thought it was going to be. And then I was pleasantly surprised when I picked it up. I thought, oh, there's no Crossroads on this. I'll get it home and check it out, you know. And I checked it out, and honestly, from the first song, I was sucked in because of the quality of the recording, and he brought a fresh face to the Robert Johnson songs. Now, I know with Eric, he used to, as a young fellow, when he first heard Robert Johnson, he struggled to listen to, you know, more than a couple of songs at a time from what I believe, because he just felt like it was too much. He had to. It took him a while. It took him a while to actually get through it, and so for me, listening to this, I was like hearing a fresh-faced Robert Johnson song done by Eric Clapton, which, you know, made sense to me, but they were done so wonderfully well, and the musicians on the record are just outstanding. I mean, Steve Gadd's drumming for the most part is outstanding. Nathan East, you know, Dol Bramall II, outstanding. And, you know, it was just a really pleasant surprise to listen to it. I didn't listen to it all the time, guys. I listened to it every now and again. It was one of those records I throw on I would much prefer to throw on From the Cradle. I'll put that out there
Sure.
straight away. I'd
Sure.
always put that on as a preference, because I just think that on From the Cradle, what he did, the work on that is probably some of his best singing and playing to date. You know what I mean? It's on record, and I believe that record was done live as well. So that by this stage, they'd had, for lack of better ways of putting it, they'd had their stuff together and they knew what they were doing. Then Eric knew what to do, and they just went in and did it, which is, stellar job. I mean, Eric's voice on this is outstanding. The strength of his voice in every performance is, without a doubt, the highlight of the whole record for me.
100%. His recording.
Andrew, I don't know if that answers it correctly, but yeah, it was a year or so after it was released when I got into this record, and I still listen to it regularly, but not all the time. I'd rather throw on From the Cradle, but this album is way up there as well. I love it.
No problem. Appreciate that. And we'll obviously be talking about Clapton's vocals, Simon, as we dig through the tracks, because I have to agree with what Brad said, the vocal performance that he does, and he's doing all the vocals himself, folks.
Yeah.
All the, he's carrying that load himself. So it's incredible. Simon, you want to share with us when you came across this album, please?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, fresh ears. Oh,
well, fresh ears. It's one of the things that I love about this show and about doing it. Morning, Helene. Is that, that quite often I haven't necessarily heard the records before, or if I have, it's been a long time ago and I have forgotten, which is entirely likely. So it's absolutely brilliant to hear somebody says, "Oh, let's do that." It's like, I'm in, because it's come to it with fresh ears and a fresh experience. It's great fun, and I think, Brad, I can understand completely why you would put this on if you're in a particular mood. You wanted some fairly light acoustic, more kind of that kind of thing. You'd put this on, wouldn't you? It's very much of a piece, very much of a sound. We can talk more about that as we get into it. But I feel like that it's a great record. But yeah, I think you have to be in the right mood to put it on and listen to it. I don't think you're in a different mood for this than you are if you're putting on 24 Nights or something like that. Or
100%.
Dream album or whatever. It's but that doesn't make it a less valid addition to the canon. It makes it, that's what you want, isn't it? You want an artist to produce different things, different. So you're in the mood. Oh, I'm in the mood for a bit of acoustic. Oh, I'll put on me Mr. Johnson. And you're going to get a quality record, but it's a particular thing. So yeah, I don't have a long history with this at all, but I've really enjoyed it the last couple of weeks listening to it and stuff.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's been great. And the musicians, as you said, are all exemplary, really.
Oh.
And Steve Gadd, Billy Preston, Andy Fairweather-Low, Nathan East. I mean, they're all Doyle Bramwell II, still playing with him now, 20 years later,
100%.
him and Doyle Bramwell and Nathan East are, the backbone of his band, aren't they? They're kind of,
they're still touring live with them now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's one of the great things that we have. It's a testament, isn't it, to the blues music. And, again, Simon, these British electric blues guys, that discovered this music that we talk about a lot on the channel in the 60s, and still, up until 21 years ago, Brad, still singing their music, still flying their flag, I did a bit of research on some websites over the last week and just read some reviews and checked out some forums, and a lot of people, again, in the 20 years that it's been released, who went back to Robert Johnson because of Eric Clapton in this album. So, it's just incredible that these guys are still doing it. And probably, there might be one person today watching this show that might go back and discover Robert Johnson.
For me, it definitely made me gravitate back to Robert Johnson's original recordings and have a listen. I'd heard them at this point when I first got the record, but it made me go backwards for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, isn't it, to go back and compare Eric's and
Yeah.
Robert Johnson's to kind of see, and clearly there are differences, but
Yeah.
to see what they are and see what the originals are like. I mean, I didn't know all the songs, so for sure, So again, listening to them with fairly fresh ears, even the Robert Johnson versions.
Brilliant. Awesome. So we're going to kick off the show. So Helene's in the chat. She's not doing too well at the moment. So we want to send out some good thoughts and some prayers for you, Helene. And also our brother John ZD351. We're lucky. We've got him twice in one day, guys.
I know. That'd be a record.
That's what his first girlfriend said.
Yeah. That's we haven't discussed the hairstyles yet, John. But don't worry,
Coming.
it's in there.
Coming.
All right.
Instead of 24 nights, we're going to name an episode 24 haircuts.
Oh, what a show!
Yeah.
24 hairstyles, yes.
All right, boys. So which one of you fine fellows is going to go after me? The Rock Professor? Okay. Cool. All right. That's cool. So I'm going to kick it off with When You've Got a Good Friend. And I have to tell you, when I first, guys, put this on and listened to that Stratocaster intro tone with that reverb and that overdriven sound, that Tweed Fender amp that Clapton's using, it just nailed it. I just knew that this album was going to be incredible just by those 3 or 4 notes. And every time when I put the album on, guys, I'm never disappointed because I just love it, because you're going to have an adventure. I've just already said it, the reverb, that natural reverb that they're getting. Well, I'm assuming it's natural reverb. Who knows what who knows what they might be doing, but it sounds, and this is one of the great things about the recording, it doesn't sound like it's studio reverbed, Brad. It sounds like it's natural to me. I think it's incredible. And isn't it lovely hearing Jerry's harp on this track just follow through? I just think it's incredible. He's not going out of his way to blow it hard. He's just sitting in there. He's just in the pocket right from the word go. Guys, not quite a 10 out of 10 for me, Simon. Not quite, but I love the song. It's never a skip. I'm going to rank this with a determined academic mindset that the Rock Professor would expect at least once a year from us. Once a year, and he's going to get it this show from me. 9 out of 10.
He's going to get it mainly in the neck. Yes.
9 out of 10. Love it. That overdriven guitar sound and that reverb blows me away.
Well, indeed, yeah, and I think that as you alluded to, that the thing is, I say this a lot on this, but really sets the tone for the album in terms of its sound, in terms of what they're going to be doing. So it's very integrated sound, as you've said, Andrew. That they're all in straight away, aren't they? The bass, drums, guitars, piano, Billy Preston on piano, the harp. They're all in there. It's all that integrated sound. The full band and the harp plays underneath the singing, and has a little harp solo all of its own before the guitar solo. Not only 3 minutes 20 this track, so everything's pretty tight, focused. This is the sound. This is what we're doing, and you can really tell that it's a bunch of people sitting around in a room playing together. And I agree, Andrew. That kind of natural reverb. I think of it as a natural reverb that and it bounces along, doesn't it? It's got plenty of energy and plenty of, but that kind of focus is there and playing it. So I think as I said, great opener. I think sets the tone. 9 out of 10 for me as well. Never a skip. Brad.
Well done, Simon.
Yeah, well done. I mean, it's an awesome opening for the record. It's got that great strat tone that you mentioned, Andrew, and that Fender Tweed amp. I don't know what it is, Vibra King or something like that. Really just on the edge of breakup. His phrasing on guitar is BB King like at times. Really, it's restrained, it's lyrical. Steve Gadd's playing. I'm assuming it's brushes. He's playing with brushes, and Nathan East just keeps, that lazy sort of pulsing 2-beat sort of bass playing going on there, and in with the drums. Billy Preston, his Hammond playing, it's outstanding. It gives me goosebumps listening to it. The band, really gives this Robert Johnson tune a real modern shuffle feel with ease. By the way, we have to remember this is live, and I'm going to repeat that quite a bit because it's probably the biggest key point for me on this record. Is it is a live record in a studio. That's what you're listening to. It's a band playing live. There's no overdubs. I love that. And Eric Clapton's voice is on point, strong. It's a very predominant, powerful vocal delivery by him. Great little solo. It's pure to the style of the music. It's, they haven't overindulged in it. They've just sort of sat on the surface of where they think the song needs to go, and they've kept it there, which I love. I'm going to rank it 10 out of 10, guys, and never skip, and a wonderful way to open the record, because let's be honest, if they had started with something a little bit not so, upbeat and that, you probably hesitant to listen to the whole record, but it really grabbed me by the short and curlies and made me want to hear more. Andrew.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. I have to agree with you. It did for me too, and Elaine has ranked it 10 out of 10 as well. So share with us, please, guys, your thoughts too and your rankings on the tracks as well. We're up to the second track in Little Queen of Spades, and gosh, now we're cooking, Brad. I love all the versions that Clapton has done, the live versions. I think when he takes this song forward on other record, he puts something extra special in this song. And when you go back and listen to this version here, it's you can see where the fire is lit, because Jim's already made a comment there. Billy Preston's contribution on this album can't be underestimated. The keys that Billy provides, that organ that comes through on this intro, it's just, boy, yeah, it's just incredible. Even now thinking about it, I think, my gosh, this guy is so good. And then Brad and Simon, you've got the guitars, 3 guitars, and we don't know where Andy's playing on these tracks. I can't for the life of me find where he's but I think there's 3 guitars going on this track, Brad and Simon. So I think Andy's on here somewhere. On the DVD, on the sessions, it's Eric and Doyle playing. But there's definitely 3. I'll be interested to hear what you guys think. And I think that's one of the reasons why this bloody album sounds so good, because there's 3 guitars, there as well. And we're getting it certainly on this track. Lots of atmosphere, lots of room between the notes, Simon. It's just these guys are just so incredibly in tune that nothing seems to be rushed. And Billy's solo, that he
yeah,
got, oh my lord, I just think, my gosh, Billy Preston is just incredible. What an incredible musician. I absolutely adore this song, guys. I love every version of it. I love the live versions. This is my first Brad score. There's going to be a few Brad scores on this album, guys. But I just have to give this song a Brad score. I think Simon and Brad, it's incredible. And it's the second track in. Gosh, Rock Professor.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think the interesting thing is when you get people playing in a room together, the kind of the way that they fill up the sound is completely different, isn't it? So you've got Eric on, if he's playing his Strat, it's quite a thin sound. It's quite, it only takes up a small amount of the tone. So you can have two electric guitars and probably an acoustic guitar, I would say, in there as well. No, I would say that was Andy Fairweather-Lowe was doing the acoustic stuff, but I could be wrong. But I think that's the way that it works. But because they don't take up a huge amount of space, you can have three guitars, bass, drums, organ, and
Yep.
still each instrument's got its own space in which it can breathe. And I think it's one of the really important things, and that's what you get if you get people in a room playing together. That you get a difference, and they feel their own bit of the sound, but they don't feel a need. If you're doing it. I've got 14 tracks of guitars. There's
Nah.
I have six cleans and six slightly distorted ones, and I've got my 335 amp for that, and then I'm going to play my Les Lime. And you end up with kind of what are the options paralysis. I'm going to put it all on, and you end up with it all very kind of compressed, and then whereas three people playing, the acoustic occupies a different space and is in the background. That actually gives the track a chance to really breathe and really live. And I think it was really interesting to hear Rick Beato's interview with Glenn Johns, emphasizing that point. That the playing in the room really, really important. When recording a band, and you get the feel of the band and get the feel of the people playing together, so they can see each other. Not even in different rooms playing together, in the same room playing together, and have baffles and things, and cope with the fact that you can get spillage and things these days. But so, I think this really informs this whole album. This track, I think, I agree, Andrew. It is a classic, isn't it? It's got everything in there. It's got the harp up against the singing. It's just Steve Gadd definitely playing brushes on this one. It's quite subtle guitar and bass, just solid stuff. That nobody's going mad, but they just fill out their particular part of the sound and give a real basis to the song. As you said, the organ solo is fantastic, and there's some really nice, cool guitar interjections from Eric and stuff. And it's got that kind of, the barroom vibe that with it that gives it real atmosphere. I too gave it a 10 out of 10. Never a skip. So I could see this is where you might have started, to be honest, in many ways. Brad.
Well done.
Little Queen of Spades. I think it's the record's slow blues centerpiece. I think it's Clapton, his tone on this is outstanding on guitar. It's got his trademark Clapton tone, for me, sustain. He's playing, he's got that wide vibrato. He plays guitar like he's singing, almost vocal-like. His solo, is with like the heart of the song. It's like he's playing for the song. He's not trying to do anything, like he would in 24 Nights, stretch something out and play and show off what he's capable of doing as a bluesman. He's sitting right in the heart of the song here. Steve Gadd, I mean, he's a master behind the drums. Billy Preston, I mean, he's underlining the whole song. He's adding that sort of drama to the song, if that makes sense. Nathan East, his bass, his walking bass lines. I mean, you mentioned it, Simon. This is the lurk of going third. Everyone mentions basically what you've already said, what you want to say.
We've read your notes, Brad.
Yeah, exactly. But Nathan East is playing exactly what needs to be done. Great solo from Billy Preston. I've put here once again. Eric, he's singing so wonderfully well, and it's a great solo he did. I gave this 100 out of 10, guys, and never a skip. I think so.
Well done.
Masterpiece. Yeah.
Well done. And Jim's got a great, interesting comment here. Queen of Spades pretty much replaced Have You Ever Loved a Woman live in the show. So yeah, that would be right. Yeah. So thanks for highlighting that, Jim. Because there's a lot of versions of that song live for us to go and listen to. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys. Just give me 2 seconds for a second. Did you like that?
Give me 2 seconds for a second.
Yeah, well, that's like saying, can I have $10 for $5?
You got it back.
You know you're being conned. You just can't work out where, can you?
Yeah. That's shady dude.
Just baffle them, make them difficult to understand what's going on.
Shady dude. New Zealanders, bro. You wait till you get to the Australians, then, if you're going to talk about that.
Bust up in the colonies.
Actually, this is not a political show, but well done to the people of Australia today marching. Well done, Aussie. I love Australia.
Yes.
Yes. Well done, Aussie.
Well
anyway,
done,
it's back to work. And then after we rank the song, guys, I'll just throw up some picks. So, hot tamales in the red hot.
They are.
Yeah. Vaudeville was where I read somewhere. Guys, I got to tell you a little bit about the song. When I first heard the song, I didn't get the song when I first heard it. You know, after listening to the track that we've just ranked, and then cutting into this track, it was like, wow. I for a long time, Simon and Brad, because I'm bearing my soul musically to you guys. I'm telling the truth.
I'm starting to worry about him, Brad.
I didn't get it, but it's just one of those songs that I'm freely able to admit to you guys that has grown on me over the years, to the point where I absolutely think it's an incredible song. Watching Clapton play this with the band live on that DVD, Brad and Simon, helped me appreciate what they were doing, because the timing, and I'm sure the rock professor will tell us what the timing is. The timing is incredibly. It's not an easy song to play. I've spoken to a lot of guitar players over the years about this song, so it's a difficult song. But the star for me, Brad and Simon, the star for me is Steve Gadd on the drums with his brush on this track. It's just incredible. You guys have mentioned him drumming on the previous tracks, but this is the standout for me. Steve Gadd, he could just sit there like Ringo Starr, like Charlie Watts, Jim Gore, and just sit there all day, Simon, couldn't they? Just sit there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a lovely story about that. I'll tell you in a minute.
Cool. Look, it's not a Brad score. It's only 10 out of 10, but Steve Gadd is the highlight on this track for me, and obviously Clapton's vocals, on this track, because he's singing a little bit higher, in a higher key that he's not normally singing in. Well done, EC. Simon.
Yeah. It just occurred to me, you talk about my friend Nick Shepherd, who lives in Perth, who does that album, The Feel Alright Sister. That's his band, one of his bands. He's got a Rolling Stones tribute band as well. But
well done.
He told us this lovely story about his dad, who's a real jazzer. His dad was a jazz fan, not a rock and roll guy, a jazz guy. And his dad went to see the Rolling Stones in the I think in the 60s, late 60s. And when he came back, Nick said, "What were they like?" He said, "The drummer was good."
Really?
Well, Charlie Watts, a great jazz drummer. That's exactly the point. He just came back and got him here. The drummer was good. Double.
Wow.
Very nice. So, lovely. Anyway, so yes, the drummer is very good on here too, Steve Gadd, definitely. I mean, to me, this is definitely a sort of, and I went back and I thought, blimey, really, you know, because it's not one I was familiar with in the Robert Johnson canon. So I went back and listened to it. It's pretty similar. There's not a
Yes.
huge tempo wise, and all that, and you realise, of course, that you had to have songs like this because it's a dance number. You know, it's not a deep number. It's really about dancing. It's about, you know, Robert Johnson would have gone round and played in bars and, you know, house parties and stuff. And you need to have dance numbers. You need to have numbers that people get up and dance to, and this kind of jump jive sort of thing, style that I would call it. You know, with a nice great barrel house piano, kind of leading it along. And as you've said, the great drumming as well. And Nathan East upright bass. You know, pretty much, if you like, a 4-piece, probably more than one guitar on it, but, you know, pretty much you got yourself a 4-piece, and you know, and it's really about you know, getting people up to dance. There's a completely, you know, it's still in 4/4, Mr. Wilton, but it 2/4. I think it's got that kind of. It reminds me. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I forgot to go and look. But there's a Bob Dylan song that starts off slowly and then he goes into this sort of beat. It's sort of after about, you know, 10, 12 bars or something. You know, just picks it up. It's like somebody right, straighten your backs, chaps. 1, 2, 3, right. You know, and off you go, kind of thing. But great. You know, so I think the contrast is really good here. I think that kind of upbeat dance number, perfect at number 3 after you've had, you know, the first 2, you know, pretty much more straighter blues things. I give it a 9 out of 10, but it's never a skip, and a really good counterpoint to what we've had before and what might come. Brad.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, well, for me, they're red hot. It's a real, I guess, playful palate cleanser on the album. Comes in at that sort of 3rd position and totally shifts things, which I love that. And Clapton, obviously, you know, there's a more acoustic vibe on this, more ragtime sort of feel to it. I guess it's got a, you know, alternating bass and syncopated sort of melodies within the song. Billy Preston, you know, takes on the piano, and mate, what a outstanding piano player Billy Preston is too. Because when I think of Billy Preston, I always think of like playing an organ. I never really picture him playing a piano. I know he does play piano, but I don't picture him playing a piano. I always picture him playing an organ. I think it's just because I've watched Get Back that many times and, you know, Let It Be, and just that sort of Billy Preston. That's what I picture when I think of Billy Preston. But outstanding piano playing. The slide solo in it is Doyle Bramwell. I can tell that because he announces it. He goes Doyle when he goes to play the slide. So that's a cool little thing. Like, he's actually announced Billy and he announces Doyle for the solo. And I think it's great. It's Nathan East, like you said, with the upright slap sort of bass feel. Fantastic vocal again. I think it's a 9 out of 10 for me, guys, and never a skip. Andrew.
Yeah. I think you guys are right. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys, because I thought
is this 2 second, 1 second?
Hold on. I didn't upload one photo. Right, so here we go. So look, so bit of a palate cleanser. It's definitely a song that deserves to be put in there because it's not one that a lot of people would clearly identify with in the canon, you know, the songs of Robert Johnson. So, you know, again, well done, Eric. So just got a couple of picks, guys, just to break up the halftime show. So there's the album cover there. Always love that. You know,
Sir Peter Blake.
Yep. Paying his respects there to Robert Johnson.
Yeah. In the
and again, the line in And the liner notes, Brad, that you've mentioned before, if you go and read the liner notes on the album, it's incredible. You know, the conversation pieces, you know, that you don't get on Spotify on here, you know, the discussion. Yeah, it's just incredible. So check it out. Here's a photo of Eric playing at a charity gig. This is from the same era, 2003, 2004. So he's got the Robert Johnson vibe going there with the suit and tie guys.
Yep.
Yes.
And the acoustic. Yeah, absolutely.
And here's live.
Not quite the Robert Johnson vibe.
No, but it's from the 2003,
cool,
2004 era where he's playing one of those crash guitars. And here's some photos from the DVD that came out with the sessions, which is an incredible DVD.
Incredible, yeah.
Doyle and Eric in the hotel room where Robert Johnson recorded his tracks. That's just an amazing little piece too that sometimes people forget that Eric did. And again, that's contained on that DVD, guys. Incredible.
Wow. Yep. That's an amazing DVD. If anyone hasn't seen it, go and watch it.
Again, some more photos there.
Doyle and Eric,
Steve Gadd, the man himself. Nathan and Eric. Again, standing right next door to each other while they're recording. And one more clip of Doyle playing slide on. This is off Queen of Spades.
Amazing.
So that's all the picks we've got for this week. We've got some more that we'll play next week, guys. So thank you for allowing me to throw in a couple of picks there, boys.
And did you, for John's head D351, did you notice what haircut he had? had a short back and sides, really, wasn't it? Like a crew cut.
Yeah, it was a crew cut. Yeah, definitely short. Right. Yeah, he had that right up till 2007.
Like he pretty much walked out the army and played a gig.
Number 4 clippers all over.
Yeah,
that's it. The best haircuts. So where are we, guys? We're up to Me and the Devil Blues.
Me and the Devil Blues. We are.
Right. You know, guys, again, you know, what's really interesting about the music that we love, again, it's the introduction just blows me away. It's just classic blues, isn't it? Eric and his guitar and his vocals on this track's just incredible, guys. And the harp, I just think, you know, again, you know, this might be the third album that we've ranked with Jerry, because he was on Sessions and he was also on From the Cradle, wasn't he? Oh, and
he's also on the live one that we did. What's it? With
this
Eric
one
on
here.
The front. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been a few recordings where Jerry's, and we've always said the same thing, hasn't it? When it's come to Jerry, his contribution is just like he's no little Walter. You know, he's not blowing blowing the heck out of it. You know, he's just there. And it's almost like Brad and Simon, sometimes like it's a vocal performance, you know, like a backing vocalist that he's providing with the harp. I think's just amazing. I think his contribution to this track is just incredible. I've always loved this track. It's never a skip. Eric sings incredibly well. Great guitar. I have to give this 10 out of 10. Simon.
Yeah, Jerry Portnoy, the third Portnoy brother.
Yeah.
The non-prog one. So he's somebody had to slip, didn't they, in the family tradition?
The proper one.
But the proper one, yeah, went the proper route. But as you said rightly, Sandy, you know what you're in front of, that slow descending blues turnaround that Eric does at the beginning. It's
Wow.
just an in with the harp and the guitar is really good. They fit really well together. As you say, Jerry Portnoy does a fantastic job of that interaction between the guitar and the harp, like a bit like a second guitar in some ways. But very steady bass and drums. Drums again, brushes and stuff, and a nice little acoustic guitar solo. And 148, really, tasteful, bluesy from Eric. Does what Eric can do, and a verse to close. Again, for me, one of the lighter ones on the thing. So I give it 9 out of 10 and never a skip. But an interesting contrast to the hot tamales of the previous track. Brad.
Well, thanks,
yeah,
Alan.
it's a a grittier, sort of sharp song. Chompy is the word I put in the shuffle styling. It's got that chompy feel for me.
Great
yes, word. Slow and chompy. There's you guys have sort of pretty much read most of my notes here. I love the dense feel behind this one. Obviously, it's got a wonderful vocal delivery from Eric again. Eric's got a wonderful way of, when he sings someone else's lyrics, he puts himself into it, and he really did on this song in particularly. Not much more to say than what you guys have already said about it. There's some great harp playing as well, and I put great acoustic blues solo and playing from the guys in the band. Obviously, I put 9 out of 10, guys, and never a skip.
Well done. Appreciate it. And Alan's given me and the Devil Blues 10 out of 10. So yeah, we're all within a point of each other. So we're up to Traveling Riverside Blues now. According to Wikipedia and the fluff on the back of this album, this is where Jim Keltner comes in on drums and Pino Palladino comes in on bass. And I have to be honest with you guys, it's not as if it's a remarkable change for me as far as the percussion side of things goes with these guys at all. I can't hear, and I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. But I can't hear anything that's remarkably different, other than their names being included on the album. Both in their own rights, guys, just incredible musicians. What Pino has done, the people that he's performed with. You go and check out his Wikipedia account and see the people that he's played with, Brad and Simon, over the years. It's it's just an endless list of people, and the same with Jim Keltner.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Pino Palladino, from the Who to John Mayer, and all points in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right. So, if you're familiar with Paul Young, Wherever I Lay My Hat, his version, you go and listen to the bass, fretless bass. That's Pino playing, and boy, he makes that track just stick out. And then the Mayer stuff. You're right, Simon. The stuff that he's done with Mayer. Oh, yeah, just incredible. Yeah. Incredible musician. And Jim's right, Led Zeppelin did a version as well. But I have to tell you guys, I just love the way the band. So maybe this might be where the difference is. I don't know. Want to hear you guys. Musically, I'm not hearing anything, but maybe from a time perspective, because they're playing behind the beat on this track. It's remarkable how it's just behind the beat. And I just love that. I think it's incredible. The harp, again, is a masterclass on playing the harmonica. The slide guitar, Brad, I don't know who's playing slide. I'm going to assume it's Doyle. I'm going to, yeah, because
Totally.
Eric is, his style of playing isn't as gritty and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Doyle, but I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong. I think the slide guitar on this is just incredible. And as Jim said, Led Zeppelin's version is just incredible as well, but we'll stick to this. I've given this a Brad score, guys. I just think it's an incredible song. I love it. And, a great version of a important song, Simon.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Led Zeppelin sort of did it twice, really, didn't they? They did "Traveling Riverside Blues" as a kind of as an acoustic number, and they did the Lemon Song, which is sort of so in effect they did it twice.
Sort of a sort of song.
He sort of done it twice. You know what I mean? Fuck it off, you. But we get the purest version here. We get it all in one song.
You got it.
I agree. I agree about the slide. I think that I couldn't really tell any difference in the rhythm section. I couldn't have said that it was Pino Palladino and Jim Keltner as opposed to Steve Gadd and Nathan East. But that's just because I'm a dimwit, probably. But as you say, that may be a bit more playing behind the beat than than Steve Gadd does a bit. But for me, it was marginal. I didn't notice that for this one track they were different, to be honest. So, I think I was concentrating on the instrument, the harp blowing in the background with the piano as well. That's a really cool sort of combination, the two things together. Things in twos on this track, and you've got that. I like, again, I'd say it's an upright bass playing. It could be electric, sounding like upright. I like the sort of I really like the rolling and tumbling instrumental section as well. There's a bit that sounds that you can sing rolling and tumbling over the top. I think great singing as well. I think Eric's, you said it, and I'm going to say it as well. He's really got his singing chops together by this stage. He sings fantastically well on these tracks. Never more so than those. The slide solo, for me, there's two parts. I don't know whether Andy Weatherlow's playing. There's a part in the background and a part in, I presume I don't know whether it's Doyle and Andy Fairweather-Low or it's Doyle and Eric. Eric's playing in the background kind of thing. I'm not very good at spotting these things. But I do like it. I think it's fantastic, those two slide parts. They fit together really well. And it gives them, and then you've got the squeeze my lemon section, just in case you thought it was getting too arty. But again, the sound of a band in sync, in tune. Good morning, Tony. Hope you're good.
Hey, Tony.
Had a late night at a party. We can send you to sleep, Tony. No worries, mate. So to me, the integration of the band, as I say, the harp and the piano, the two slide guitar solos, 10 out of 10 from me. Never skip. Fantastic version of this song. Never, but Brad.
Yeah, look, it's a great version of the song. It's one of my sort of more favorite Robert Johnson songs, and to hear it, it's got a swampy showcase feel to it on this version. Clapton, obviously, I'm not sure what tuning it is, open D or open G. It's got something. It's definitely an open tuning. Glass slide for sure. I can hear that tweed amp, really sort of copying a hiding in this song. It's pretty loud. There's a lot of vocal like phrasing with slide guitar, channeling Robert Johnson's bottleneck sort of bite, I guess. Chunky rhythm behind it. I don't know who's playing what. It's a bit hard to work out, but Pino Palladino syncopates the bass riff pretty amazingly well with Jim Keltner. Obviously, he's an old seasoned professional, and he's just come in and probably sat in. I've got a feeling that Dana is in there on this song. Maybe they visited the studio and Eric might have just said, "Oh, guys, just jump on and play." They're that good of musicians that maybe they just pulled it off. There's nothing outstanding there like that's over the top playing for Pino Palladino or Jim Keltner. They would have just sat in and done exactly what the song required. But I love some stylistic sort of slide guitar playing in this, and the great vocal. Eric Clapton's obviously, Simon, you said it. By this point in his career, he's really got his vocals together, and he knows exactly what needs to be done, and he gets it done. And let's not forget, this is, I'm going to say it again, a live recording in the studio. So it's an outstanding version of the song. I gave it 10 out of 10, guys. Never skip. Andrew.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. Hey, Tony, thanks for jumping on and sharing our channel last week and saying some nice things about it. It's always appreciated, brother.
Yeah,
thank
thanks,
you.
Tony.
Last track, boys, for part one. So, last fair deal gone down. A little bit Brad and Simon like Hot Tamales and the Red Hot when I was hearing this, the first time I heard it. I thought, oh, okay, this ain't kind of this ain't blues that I'm kind of used to. But again, Brad, I don't mind admitting, it's grown over time with me. The intro with that slide's incredible, isn't it? And again, cheapers. It's hard. Yeah, is that Doyle? Is that Doyle? Got to be. Is it Doyle?
It could be. Yeah.
I'm hopeless at this, So let's go with Doyle and see what the audience thinks. See what guys leave a comment if it's not Doyle.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim's saying the guitar's an open A. Okay. Awesome. So, yeah. So, yeah. If it's not open A, it'll be open E. If it's not open E, it's open G. If it's not open G, it'll be open D. Oh my God, take it back,
Dad.
Yeah. But I gotta have to say, through listening to this album many times over the years, I love the song. It's a fun song. Brad, you mentioned the previous song that we were talking about, Hot Tamales, like a palate cleanser. Look, I'm glad that Clapton has put the song on here. Doesn't do a lot for me, musically, guys. There's nothing really sort of standing out other than the intro. Solid song. I'm going to give it, because it's Eric and a hot band. Any other day I might have given it 8 out of 10, Simon, but I'm going to give it a 9.
Good work. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That I agree. I think it's got a nice electric turnaround at the beginning. That brisk 2/4 tempo, upbeat tempo, kind of a contrast with the last song. And I think that if you've got that really integrated sound, that the whole band plays on pretty much all of it. There's not that huge variations of sound. The harp doesn't play on everything, but pretty much you've got guitars, bass, drums, piano playing on everything. That the way you do it, you variate the songs by having serious songs, and then not so serious songs, and so you've got Red Hot Tamales, and then you've got Me and the Devil Blues and stuff, and then Traveling Riverside Blues, and then this track, Last Fair Deal Gone Down, which, as you say, is brisk tempo, upbeat, nice piano, bass just playing the root notes, just holding it down, not doing anything. Nice integration of the instruments. It swings along very nicely as a track. Great singing again from Eric. I think always lifts it. But interestingly, no solo. No solo.
Hey, Bob.
But, morning, Bob.
Bob.
I know who Bob is. I know who Bob is. He's a good mate of mine.
We know he is.
Good.
One of your New Zealand crew.
Good to see you, Bob.
Yeah, and a nice bit of call and response with the guitar at the end, but no overt solo to it. I agree, Andrew. I give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's there's a palate cleanser, a different style, a different thing from what's gone before. You got a bit of light with the shade, haven't you? And so 8 out of 10 from me. Never skip. Brad.
Yeah,
good score,
guys. It's you know, it's a lighter up tempo sort of shuffle vibe to it.
Mm.
Definitely got the electric guitar sort of cranked up there. I tend to, you know, believe that little intro piece is Eric Clapton playing slide. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think it is. I'm going to say it is, but I could be incorrect there. But yeah, for me, it's got, you know, Eric Clapton's got that sort of that sparkly strat tone happening. More bridge pickup, I would assume, than a neck pickup, though, like more in that sort of bitey region. Look, guys, it's you know, you guys have summed it all up. It's warm, it's clean. There's a lot of comping in this. They're right in the pocket with small blues turnarounds. Billy Preston, you know, with the piano fills. Gadd and East are just, you know, feathering along, really. They're not really doing much. They're just sort of feathering along and dancing in the shuffle, doing exactly what they're supposed to do. It's a fun little up-tempo blues song, the way the feel they've put to it. And vocally, obviously, Eric is, you know, obviously shining again. I gave it an 8 out of 10, though, guys, and never a skip. Andrew.
Well done, guys. I think we're on the money there. You know, there's a couple of Brad scores, obviously, on the first 7 tracks, you know, which is, you know, always going to be the case when there's a Clapton album
Are we
involved.
We've currently only done 6 tracks, boss. Are we going to do Stop Break It Down Blues, or are we doing that next week? And then we're going to have 8 next week.
Oh, so yeah, sorry, yes. So I've got to turn the page. Yes, we've got one more. We've got one more song to do.
Just checking, sir.
Yeah. Remember, Simon. I'm getting old.
You're not as old as me. Thanks, relying on me to remember. That's not positive, is it?
Yeah. So you're right, Rock Professor. So Stop Breaking Down. So this again for me, you know, I've spoken about a couple of master classes, guys. This has got to be Doyle on slide. Got to be. And it's a master class on slide guitar. Just listen to it. I listened to it at least a dozen times on my headphones. It just blows me away what that slide guitar is doing. I just, you know, love the vibe that the song has. Eric just sings incredible on this track. You know how he goes, oh, you know, he's singing, you know, higher up in some places on the song. I'm not going to give you some a rendition of it, but you know, Clapton's doing this by himself, guys. You know, the vocal track, just go and listen to the vocals, what Clapton's doing on this track. Stop Breaking Down. It's just incredible. You know, I have to give this a 10 out of 10. I just think Brad, the slide, and Simon, the slide guitar, especially on this track, is just incredible. And, you know, I love the slide. 10 out of 10. Rock Professor.
Interesting, yeah.
But thank you, Bob. Petrucci like. I wish my guitar playing was Petrucci. I wish my guitar playing was Petrucci like.
You need to get a 7-string first. See, we're already in dangerous territory. 7 strings. No, the devil's guitar, 7 strings. Nobody said.
Yes.
God never said that guitar should have 7 strings.
That's right. Yeah, if you're going to have more than
in all the books.
If you're going to have more than 6 strings, go and get an 8-string mandolin. Thank you, Hugh. Oh, for his pension. This is for your pension fund.
Oh. Hugh, how you doing, man? Dear, caught out again, messing about. That's very kind of you, Hugh. Thank you so much. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, to me, Stop Breaking Down Blues is again that kind of a light contrast that we have in the sort of middle of the album. It's got a real loping tempo, like electric guitar, acoustic guitar, drums and bass, putting it down. Again, there's a nice harp solo, 1:15, but the harps mix quite back in the track, which gives it more of a homogeneous feel. No guitar solo. and some cool piano from Billy Preston. I think that this is I kind of feel like this is the lightness in the middle of the sandwich, if you like, that kind of heavy. So it's another 8 out of 10 for me, but not a skip ever. Brad.
Okay, so the track 7, Stop Breaking Down Blues. Yeah, Eric's voice on this, Andrew, you mentioned it. That's the highlight for me, without a doubt. And definitely Doyle on the slide, I'd say. And that's another highlight for me on this track. The tone, very raunchy sort of slide tone. I love that. It's got a barroom energy to it. They could have had someone in the background smashing bottles and things like that to make it sound a bit more authentic. I don't know. But on a more serious note, I think somewhat fitting, to Robert Johnson's song. The amps really sound pushed hard to me. Obviously, little amps, but pushed very hard, delivering that sort of natural overdrive. Preston, he's got that honky tonk sort of vibe going on. Nathan East and Steve Gaddis stomping away, driving that groove. I'll put here nice harp playing, which is, I agree, Simon, it's a little bit pushed back in the mix, but it's right where it needs to be, I think. Can't be too up front. Again, the biggest thing I've got for me is fantastic vocal delivery and great slide playing. 10 out of 10 for me, guys, and never skip.
All right, so Simon is now
in the doghouse.
He's in the doghouse because he's in the doghouse because Jim's given 10 out of 10. I gave it 10 out of 10. You gave it out of 10, and Simon gave it a miserable, measly, cheap ass 8 out of 10.
Oh, Simon, what are we going to do with him? The rock professor.
We've just lost, mate. We're supposed to be, Eric Clapton aficionados here. Aficionados, bro.
Aficionados. Yeah. Yeah, come on, Simon, lift your game, my friend.
Oh, and
Alan gave it 10 out of 10 too. So even Alan.
Okay. Hey, but you're all wrong, and I'm right. We know this. It's in all the books. I've done the maths. You're all wrong, and I'm right.
I shouldn't say even Ellen, because she would say that she is an Eric Clapton expert. I was going to say even Ellen,
especially Ellen.
So I shouldn't say even Ellen. Ellen gave 10 out of 10.
See, especially Ellen gave 8 out of 10. What am I doing in the wilderness of an 8 out of 10? I like to be contrary sometimes,
Yeah, okay. So, all right. So, someone's got to do it.
Oh dear. I'll redeem myself next week.
Okay then. All right. Oh, Hugh's given it a Brad score. All right.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there's been a couple of Brad scores.
You're just doing that, Hugh. You're just doing it because I haven't, just to show me up even more.
He really wants to give you one under the ribs here with a Brad score.
Well, depending on what Hugh's doing next week, Hugh will be on with us to rank the next 7 songs, folks. So it'll be either the 3 of us, or 4. So keep us in the loop, Hugh, with what you want to do next week, mate. Obviously the invitation is there. Thanks guys for hanging out with us to do the first 7 songs, and we'll be back next week for the next 7. Even Alan knows her stuff. She's more of a rock prophet. So, oh my god!
Oh, that's harsh, isn't it?
That's fighting talk.
That's harsh, Jim. That is taking my crown as the undisputed rock professor, now disputed. my reputation is in tatters on the floor. He's gone.
Why? Because he gave him an 8. Good fun.
A measly, mean-hearted 8 out of 10. Come on, it's not that bad. It's not a 5, is it?
So Jim's made Alan's day. Look, we've had a bit of fun here. So
Brilliant.
Look, I can't guarantee if Simon's going to be back next week, though. I can't guarantee that.
What, you giving me the sack?
I
I can stay in bed, chill out.
we can't.
That's what I deserve. The sack.
I might have to have might have to FaceTime you later, bro. So, Brad, to talk about this.
New Zealand's answer to Alan Sugar. You're fired. Thank you. I have support from Johnny Heartbreakers. At least I'm honest. It's not stupid, but honest. Yes. Thank you for your support, Johnny. That's very kind.
Well done. All right. We've had a bit of fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you're on a replay and you've watched part 1,
Brilliant.
And you're an hour and 25 minutes, and thank you for hanging out with us and picking us to spend some time with when you consider all the tubes that are out there, all the videos on the tube. You've decided to pick ours and spend some time with us. So thank you. We're always humbled by that. We get a few views, and it's always pleasing to get some feedback. So let us know what you think. Is the Ruck Professor, has he redeemed himself? Will he redeem himself?
Tony says I need to be banned for a couple of weeks. God, look at that. Can you imagine like giving it a 5? Dear, got to be in prison by now. Be on a prison ship to the colonies.
Are we out of here?
Yes. Take care, all. Have a good week, and we'll see you next week for more of this idiocy.
Madness.
All right.
Love you all.
God
Take
bless.
care. Bye.